I'm Bruce Bohne, and I played Chuck in Strange Nature. The night before my audition, I ran into an old friend, and he said, "Hey, I just auditioned for this film," and I told him Bruce Bohne should do this role. And I went, "Oh, well, cool, thanks." Next day, I was at the audition. The guy was downstairs before me doing his thing, and he came up and he said, "Oh, Bruce, I just told him you should do this role." And then I, and then I heard from my agent that a couple other people said, "Bruce Bohne should do this role." And I'm going, "Oh, yeah, it does feel kind of right to me, but anyway." So let's. And then the casting director called and said he wanted that Jim wanted to Skype with me, and we just had this nice, long, wonderful Skype conversation. Just talking about the role and the character in Minnesota and his idea, and I think we just really hit it off. And then soon after that, they offered me the part, and I was delighted. The first thing that the actor gets is the sides, and he wants to know what's my character like. And so I read the scene in the boat with Brody, and then I read the hospital scene, and I just thought, man, these are really well written scenes, and the character is so clear and already so complex just from two little scenes. And then so I read the whole script, and I just found it just wonderfully written and so real and so Minnesota, and just a great sense of humor, and all the the uncertainties and the threats and the additional stuff with strange deformed animals, but meanwhile the relationships were all so cool. And I just thought this script is so solid, and the story really moves forward. It's odd that once in a while you get a role that you feel so close to that there's not really a lot of preparation required. Learning the lines and digging a little deeper into them. But as I worked on the character, I just kept thinking, this is so much me, and so many of the things that I've experienced in life and relationships and family, parent, child, grandchildren, and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't really have to prepare a lot that way, but as it happened, right at the time when we were shooting, I was going through all this really intense stuff with my mother, who I'm about as estranged from as Chuck is from Kim. So some of those things just really fell into place, and I found myself doing things as Chuck with Kim that my mother does to me that drives me crazy. And so it's a little secret that nobody knows about, but it was my secret, and it worked for me. And the boat scene with Brody, with the amazing Jonah. I've never worked with a kid that was that much fun to work with, that smart, that willing to just go with the flow. Great sense of humor, really relaxed. And so when we got into the boat, and we initially tried to shoot that scene on a day when we were losing the sun, and everything was really hurried, and we rushed through the scene, and we both looked at each other and said, we got to get another chance to do this. And so sure enough we did, and by that time we had become really good buddies, and felt so comfortable with each other that we just played the scene. And it was such a delightfully written scene to begin with, and just to have a second and then a third chance at doing it, always looked forward to that. So that was a lot of fun. The production had its share of difficulties, and what I kept marveling at was that this young and somewhat inexperienced crew and production team just always rose to the occasion and made things work and overcame obstacles and kept the thing going forward. And we got a movie made out of this, so I can't really say that there was a worst favorite part of it. Well, I live in Minnesota, and I have for a very long time, and I love Minnesota, and I have actually shot movies in all 4 seasons. And I just think, we have wonderful weather, we have wonderful talent here, and and a lot of beautiful places to shoot. And so I just hope that we get to do a lot more. When we see that Chuck is sick, and we know that he has liver cancer, and so there was this wonderful scene in the boat where I'm supposed to puke over the side of the boat. So, you know, I was kind of thinking, okay, I could do the old stick my finger down the throat and all that. Well, they bring me down this Tupperware full of mashed up lasagna and corn and set it in the bottom of the boat. And I looked at it and went, "Hoo!" And I almost threw up over the side of the boat. And I goes, what are we supposed to do with this? And Jim says, well, just before we say action, you just take a big bite of that. And I went, "Whoa!" And I just about lost it again. And then he said, okay, we're going to try it. And I said, I'm not going to eat that stuff. And all I have to do is look at it. So when it came time for me to throw up, all I did was like, whoa, and out it came. So anyway, we knew the guy was sick. I just had to share that story. We knew he was sick and we knew he was dying. And the scene in the hospital, I think we were supposed to originally shoot that some other time, and I'm not sure when. And so I wasn't totally ready for it, but just when the first time we started doing it, I don't know, I just sort of sank so deeply into that situation, and the reconciliation with my daughter, and death being, just around the corner, and all those things. And I just got to one point, and it just, everything made me so sad that the tears started coming. Now, I have never been asked to shed real tears in a movie to this date, and so I have never done it and didn't know if I could do it, but we started doing take after take, and that scene was, first of all, so well written, that, I don't know, the character just got inside my own emotions, maybe, rather than the other way around, and the whole thing of it just made it very poignant and suddenly really easy to do a very difficult scene, and because I wasn't thinking about any of those other things that actors are supposed to think about when you're trying to do a death scene, but it just felt so real, and Kim, Lisa was still estranged from me at that time. She was being kind of hard on me, and just like I am with my mom when my mom's slowly dying, and just a lot of things made it really real, and so it came out, and I'm looking forward to seeing that scene. I hope it turned out as good as it felt.